Hello, hello. Cherie, Doyen here, author, international speaker, change agent, coach, and the founder of the newly emerging nonprofit Women Rising. Today I want to share a few thoughts around that thing that we talk to out there sometimes. And I know that we have a tendency to get tangled up around God, universe, creator, prayer, creation, manifestation. So let's just put all that aside right now. I really don't want to get caught up in semantics, right? Just hang in here with me for a few. Let's see if we can think about something new and different. What we were taught as children, right? It's doing more harm than good, really. It's like we were given this little tiny seed of information, and we've held on to that for years and years and years without growing it, right? And our prayer just is not reflecting in our lives. And so we're left questioning, right? And maybe there's a reason behind the doubt that we're having around this, right? Even the Dalai Lama spoke out recently declaring, his concern around the effectiveness of prayer, right? Now, nobody's saying that it's not powerful to talk to God, but the way we're doing it, the way we're choosing to interact with the energies out there are what we're calling into question, right? If you want to change the world, Dalai Lama's words, first try to improve and bring about change within yourself. That will help change your family, and from there it just gets bigger and bigger. Everything we do has some sort of effect, some impact, right? So the movement is more important than what we're praying, right, in our heads. Because when we tie in the action with the movement, action with the thoughts, with the prayer, then that's what brings around change, right? As Deepak Chopra claims, he says words become molecules. Word I am word. So that being the case, approaching God from this place of our traditional ramble, right? It's not very effective. We don't get what we want. We don't get what we desire, right? We get chaos. We call up God and we complain, we vent, we reiterate our worries and our concerns over and over again. In our heads, in our conversations, right? We know them. We know them inside out, backward, forward, right? We can recite them verbatim. And we do, to anyone that'll choose to listen. Now, from one of my favorite writers, Florence Scovel Shinn, right? She coined the phrase, worry is our strongest form of prayer. Well, think about it. We definitely have more clarity around it. We've memorized it, right? Each time we say it, we're honing it into its most concise and succinct form. All the wasted words end up becoming discarded, right? Until we have a very finely tuned, quote, prayer. Outcome, chaos. The old wives' tales, we can never dismiss them, right? They say, be careful what you wish for. So the quality of what we claim as our prayer could be, we have to look at that. Could you repeat it back? Do you have any awareness at the end around what you declared, what you wanted, what you said? Or was this time really just talking yourself into clarity, right? Then we hang up the phone, go our own way, just kind of like with our parents, right? Now I want to ask you this. If you were going to have a chat with the president, the Pope, okay, our worldly stature, how much energy would go into the words that you wanted to just say, right? And how much passion would go behind the cause, right? That you want, what kind of outcome would you want your words to have? You would have clarity around that. Let's be real. It's almost like a child with a parent, right? We ignore their advice and wisdom and then blame them when everything blows up in our face, right? Know when place to be. And as parents, we've all been there. And we all know at the end, when things don't work out too, right? Where's the acknowledgement? Where do we send that? Do we divert that away too? Do we divert it away from the magic and the miracles that happened, right? That had to occur to line up so that you could have the outcome you wanted, right? We tend to make excuses around all that, or we take credit for it, right? Now listen, the only way for the other side to gain traction is distraction, right? Now think about that. Now, I know in the new spiritual world, there is a lot of talk about there not being another side. Well, I want to be sure and I want to be clear. There is another side, right? Without contrast, we would never see the good. It would all be the same. It'd be the same, a level of sameness, right? So, for them to gain traction, they have to distract us. They get us tangled up in the minutia. The opposite of traction is distraction, right? When we turn our attention to a thought, right? Once we entertain it, right? It's like pouring water on a plant, a thirsty plant. It grows. It grows. It grows without us even knowing. And we get ourselves invested in this building of this story, right? Until it's reached a proportion that reaches up and touches the edges of a morphic field of like kind, right? And from there we have combustion. Suddenly, our cause becomes about the whole of all humanity that's ever or will ever experience injustice similar to our current circumstance, right? We've all done that. We have all watched with one thought. Something grows and grows and grows and grows and grows until like it doesn't even resemble the original circumstance. And then the next morning, right? The emotion is not true, right? So the next morning, regret. Emotion does not equal truth. Emotion does not equal truth. Things are said always, and we wonder how they even got out of our mouths, right? Now listen, to be clear, doubt is the denial of that power that we call God. Doubt is the denial that that has enough power to do what you are asking, right? So really, you're doubting God. The world's greatest distraction is doubt. Now listen, one drop of light into the dark has little or no effect, while one drop of dark into the light, it's gray and murky instantly. Think about that. You can think paint. You put one drop of dark paint, black paint, into white, you have gray paint. You put one drop of white into black paint, you have black paint, right? So, this clarity and the cleanliness of our mind is very, very important, right? Now, Jesus, the master of manifestation, of interacting with matter on this plane and creating change, right? Jesus didn't look at Lazarus and say, hey dude, you think you might want to get up? Hey God, please. He didn't beg. He just said, hey dude, get up and walk. Right? Without a doubt in any cell of his body that that was not going to be a truth. Right? His water didn't turn into wine because he thought it might. Right? Our words create the world in which we choose to live. Word, I am word. So the universe loves clarity. Now here's a great comparison, right? Google and the universal internet, right? We have to have clarity around our questions to give to Google, right? If we give them chaos, what are we going to get back? We're going to get back chaos, right? We know how necessary it is to hone that question or the statement into its bare bones so that that universal or that internet, Google, can figure out what exactly it is that we want, right? And we also know too, right, if we get tangled up in the words and are talking ourselves in circles, as in the Google search, we are going to get nothing but mush, right? The question has to be pared down and all throwaway words deleted, right? It's in its absolute simplest form, and then Google's happy, right? And we get exactly what we want. Do you think the universal internet is deserves less attention? I mean, think about that. The idea that this energy already knows what you want and need, probably true, but we're in a game of choice, right? You have to ask, you have to choose it, you have to want it, right? You have to see it as a true, real occurrence, a possibility, a real possibility. And the action has to support the direction in which you want to go. You have to be in absolute alignment with the outcome that you're wanting, right? So the real question in all of this becomes, what do you want? You have to know first. Just like the GPS in your car, right? The destination goes in first. That's your goals, right? What do you want? Where do you want to go, right? And then what's the second thing? Where are you standing? Where are you, right? So that you know how much needs to be accomplished in the interim, right? And then what comes next in your GPS? Action, right? As long as you're in the parking lot, she stays silent, absolutely silent. Now, once you begin moving, right, there's no judgment around your choice and which direction you choose to go, right? She just very gently guides you back on course, right? There's no right or wrong. Just new and different experiences. And I think that cripples us as humans all the time. We're afraid to make a choice because we don't want to make a wrong choice. Well, let me just declare, right? Lukewarm is not making a choice. Now, here's another important one. Remove all contractions, all shoulds, woulds, coulds. Push them out of your vocabulary, truly, really. Because now think about it. You could be in a car accident, and it just is. Suffering, anxiety, overwhelm does not come until we start thinking about all the possibilities of what could have, would have, should have, right? So toss them out. We don't need them. Aligning ourselves with the law of vibration, singing or chanting your prayers out loud is so powerful, right? It vibrates through every cell of your being. Right? And it anchors there, right? Word, I am word. We reap what we sow, and our words and thoughts are the seeds that create the life that we live. You are the creator. I think another powerful piece around prayer is coming into circle or community of like mind, right? Here we can recharge and we support each other, right? Because the world doesn't really operate this way. Then there's the other one-liner, right? When two or more are gathered, right? And I'll add under one unified thought. Change happens, right? Now here's something I'd love for you to consider in praying for others, right? I think that we need to be aware. It's a fairly narcissistic thought to presume that we know what another person needs. Our circumstances in life, right? They present themselves for learning. They present themselves to wake us up. So is it really in the best interest of a human to wish away life, right? Instead, I like to pray that the highest and best, right, will be served in the entirety of the circumstance, right? Everybody's highest and best, whoever's involved in the circumstance. Word, I am word. Be aware with whom you share your worries. Make sure they're trustworthy, with your highest and best at the heart of their service to you, right? Be diligent over thoughts and words. Be conscious of how you are being received and how you're showing up. Use your words wisely to create forward spoken motion. For more, please hop on my website and sign up for my weekly newsletter. Here you can grab whatever goodies I'm sharing at the time. Also, I'd love to hear from you. Book a call and let's see what kind of magic we can create together. CherieDoyen.com or 573-424-3025.